Now trying to put President Trump's coronavirus infection in a positive light, saying that the president has essentially walked in the same shoes as other Americans who have suffered from this virus and have been affected by it, and that boosts his credibility to fight the pandemic. Here's his press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, on that.
He doesn't want the American people to be fearful. He's clear-eyed at what this virus is like. He himself has gone through it. But being clear-eyed also is paired with being optimistic about our future, giving the American people encouragement that we can go back to work safely if we wash our hands, socially distance, wear masks when we can't do so.
Our guest now, Carly Fiorina. She's the founder and chair of Carly Fiorina Enterprises and the Unlocking Potential Foundation. Carly, really looking forward to having you on the program this morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Sandra. Great to be with you.
You coach leadership. Rate the president on this specific issue, fighting the coronavirus and bringing the American people through this pandemic.
Well, unfortunately, I think this is an area where, in my view, President Trump has failed in his leadership. I say that because the first and most important role of a leader in a crisis in particular, and COVID is a crisis, is to see the truth, speak the truth, and act on the truth. That is what I coach. And I think Donald Trump has a spotty record of speaking the truth about this virus and acting on the truth. I think now that he has experienced the virus himself, unfortunately, he is making it all about him. It's about his experience with the virus when millions of Americans have been experiencing this virus for a very long time. And I say that because the other critical quality of any leader is a leader serves. A leader serves others. It's never about the leader. It's always about those they serve.
Carly, our viewers are going to hear you say all of that, and they're going to say, wait, she's a Republican. You were on the Republican debate stage in 2016 fighting for your party. You've already said on the record you're going to vote for Joe Biden. Why is Joe Biden a better choice for you than Donald Trump?
Well, let me say first that, and I posted this in 2019, as citizens, we do not pledge allegiance to a party. We do not pledge allegiance to a person, even the president. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and we are faithful to the Constitution. And actually, in our nation, citizens are sovereign. Our founding fathers didn't want political parties. George Washington said in 1789, the trouble with political parties is they will come to care only about winning. And so I do not think our job is to be loyal to a party. And I don't think that we are supposed to pledge loyalty to the leader of any party, either party.
So
actually, politicians work for us. Parties should work for us. Presidents should work for us. And so while I don't agree with everything Joe Biden believes, I don't agree with all the policies of his party. I have been a Republican for all my life. I think Joe Biden is a stronger leader because he has demonstrated humility, empathy, the willingness to collaborate with others, and the character that I think matters in a leader.
What about foreign policy, the economy, the court, safety in our streets? Is Joe Biden the right candidate for all those issues?
Well, let's just start with foreign policy. Actually, I think from a foreign policy perspective, something I know a fair amount about, we are worse off in every respect. China is not humbled or weaker. They are stronger and emboldened. The same is true of Russia. The same is true of North Korea. Kim Jong-un has been legitimized on the world stage. He is closer to China. Our allies in South Korea and Japan are confused by our behavior, and meanwhile, he continues to build more weapons. Our NATO allies do not believe they can count on us. So I think there are a whole host of things that say that actually we are not progressing in foreign policy. With regard to the economy, I think Donald Trump has done a relatively good job with the economy, but he also has run up our deficits to an unmanageable level on his watch. And just yesterday, when the Federal Reserve Chairman said that more stimulus was necessary to keep the economy growing, Donald Trump, inexplicably to me, yanked the rug out from under his negotiator and said, we're not going to play on another stimulus package. That's not good for the economy.
He seems to be
He's done a very good job with the courts. I agree he's done a good job with the courts. And I think Mitch McConnell deserves a huge amount of credit for that.
He seems to be softening the president, his language a bit on the stimulus talks. The Dow, as a result, is up about 460 points this morning. Something I know you watch closely as the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, being the first female to lead a major company like that, Carly. I hear you talking about truth when it pertains to the Trump administration and his leadership. How have Democrats done on the issue of truth on a morning where you've got the president authorizing the declassification of all of these Russian collusion documents, Hillary Clinton email probe documents, what we're learning on that front? So how do they rate on that?
Yeah, not good in all cases, absolutely. And look, I'm not here to defend the Democrat Party, not at all. And I'm not a Democrat. But presidential elections are a binary choice between two people, Donald Trump and Joe Biden in this case. And in this case, I believe Joe Biden, through his lifetime, has demonstrated the ability to collaborate. I stress that because collaboration is critical to problem solving. He's demonstrated that he is both humble and empathetic, characteristics that are critical to leadership, particularly leaders who know their job is to serve others. I coach the necessity and the importance of humility and empathy. And on those characteristics of leadership, Donald Trump, unfortunately, has not exhibited those characteristics through his lifetime, and I do not believe he has exhibited those characteristics during his presidency.
Go back to the issues now that affect women. You look at what is happening with the gender gap right now. Here's Monmouth University, the 2020 female vote. By the way, this was taken before the first presidential debate. Joe Biden with a sizable lead. You see the gender gap there. And I'll ask you, you just gave the president credit when it comes to the economy. We obviously saw regulations rolled back under this presidency that benefited many and did lead to a thriving economy. I don't know if you would argue that or not. Pre-pandemic, things were pretty good. Women say pocketbook issues are most important to them. Safety in our streets. Make the case. Why is Joe Biden leading over Donald Trump by such a wide margin? And can the Republican Party turn things around 28 days to Election Day and win over more of those female voters?
Well, first, I think what is becoming more and more clear on the law and order issue is the disorder and disruption that is going on in too many American cities actually is happening on Donald Trump's watch, not Joe Biden's watch. And so I just think we have to bear that in mind. Having said that, women are problem solvers. That's what women do. It's what we do in our families. It's what we do in our communities. It's what we do in our places of work and worship. People look to women to solve problems. And so as women, we know that problem solving requires collaboration. It requires us to work with others, sometimes people we don't always agree with. There are a lot of Democrats who don't collaborate, okay? But Joe Biden has collaborated. Donald Trump has not collaborated well. And when you have a situation where cities are experiencing disruption, I don't think a problem solver takes the opportunity to throw gasoline on that fire by lashing out at anyone who's a Democrat.
Just to be clear,
people are burning in the streets.
And President Trump has pushed back on that point, saying this is happening in Democratic-led cities and that he's offered federal help to step in. Moving on, final topic. I want to put up on the screen an Elle magazine cover featuring tonight's